Hey everybody, welcome back to 2 Acres Evolving. It is 33 degrees out here right now, and I need to get the hibiscus pulled out of the containers in my backyard because they are not going to do well in the cold weather. I hope I didn't wait too long to get them out. I wasn't expecting it to get this cold today, and I was going to take these out whenever I had the fall plants put in these containers because I'm going to be moving the containers over to my fire pit area. But it's 33 degrees right now, and it's probably going to get below freezing tonight. So let me go ahead and turn the camera around and show you what I'm going to do real quick. All right, so these are the containers. The super petunias are not doing well at all because of the cold temperatures. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those as well out of both of these. And then the hibiscus, I'm going to pull out and put them in some leftover plant cans that I have from other plants, and take them inside so that they'll survive so I can use them again next year. I don't even have the fall plants that I'm going to be using in these yet. I didn't even plan to start a video today, but with it being so cold and it kind of snuck up on me, I need to get these out of here. So I thought I'd bring the camera along and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and get the camera set up and get these containers taken care of. It started raining on me, so I had to pot these up in the garage, so I'm sorry if it's echoing. I hope I got to them in time. I don't know if I did or not because it's melting now, but they had some ice already forming on them. So hopefully they'll do all right. I didn't plan to do this for a couple more days, but with it being 33 degrees out right now, I'm pretty confident it's gonna get below freezing tonight. So I wanted to go ahead and get these inside so that I can possibly save them for next year. All right, so now that I got these potted up, I just have to wait for the weather to get a little bit better so I can do my actual project that I'm wanting to do with those containers. It's supposed to rain for the rest of today and tomorrow, and I think even the next day it's supposed to rain. So it'll probably be a couple of days before I can get that project started. All right, so as you can tell, it's a new day. We had freezing temperatures and ice the other day, and today it was in the 70s. So the Oklahoma weather is going kind of crazy right now, but I'm thankful that it was nice enough for me to get out and do this project today. So these two pots back here in the back are the ones that I pulled out, the hibiscus and the super petunias. These already have drip tubing run through them. So I'm just going to leave that drip tubing. I don't have any lines run to this area yet, but once I do, I'll be able to just connect it right up. And I'm going to be leaving the old soil in it, and I'll be using starter fertilizer for the plants. And then I'll be adding a little bit more soil to the top of these. And then this one over here is new. So I've got to run the drip tubing through this one and fill it up with soil. So I'm gonna be using my pruners to cut the line, and then I've got this solid 1/4 inch tubing. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm going to drill a couple of drain holes in the bottom of this. You can actually see where they go, right there and right there. So I'm going to drill those in, and then I'm gonna run that solid tubing through one of those, and I'll show you how it looks over here. Let's get this out of the way. So as you can see, this solid tube runs out the bottom of it, and I'll hide it underneath the rock. And then once I get the drip tubing run through here, I have this connector right here that'll connect right into it, so that these pots will automatically be watered and I won't have to worry about them. So I'm gonna do that to this one real quick and show you how I do this. All right, so the first thing that I have to do is drill the holes in the bottom of this for drainage and where I could put the drip tube through. So now that I have the holes drilled in the bottom, now I've just got to run this solid tubing through the bottom, and then I'll have the tube come out the back side. And I need just enough to come out the top. And I'm probably going to leave this actually long because I don't know exactly where the drip tubing is going to be going through here. So I'll leave this and give it enough room to reach the drip tubing if I need it to. So I'll just leave that and just bury it under the rock for now. So now I'm going to fill this up with soil, and then I'll show you what I do with the drip tubing on top of the soil. All right, so now that I have this full of soil, I still have my drip tubing up here. So I don't want this to be very long, so I am gonna cut this up here. Just gonna cut it about right here. And then the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this T connector to the end of this. And then once I have the T connector on there, I'm just gonna hold it down in place with a landscaping staple. And then I'm not gonna do this right now because I need to get the plants in here first. But then what I'm gonna be using is this 1/4 inch drip tubing. It's got drip holes every 12 inches, and these holes emit about a half a gallon of water every hour. So what I'll do is I'll hook it to one side of this T, and I'll go around the outside edge, and then I'll go around again on the inside edge, and then connect it back to itself on the other side so that it's one continuous loop and I won't have any problems with water pressure or anything like that. So now that I've got the soil in this one, and then I'm gonna have to add soil into the other two, and the drip line run through this, I'm gonna go ahead and get these planted now. So before I start planting these containers up, I just wanted to take a minute and explain to you what fertilizer I'm using. I had a couple people ask me what I was using, so I thought it would be a good idea to give you all the information again. I'm using Biotone starter fertilizer. It's through Espoma, and this helps the roots grow in strong. So anytime I plant something new or transplant something to a different area, I always use this Biotone starter fertilizer just to give the plants a boost. So I got the containers all planted. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run the drip lines through this. I don't have a drip system run to this area yet, but I just wanted to get these containers prepared for when I do have it. So I have the solid 1/4 inch tubing coming out the bottom, and then it comes out the top right here. So then what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to attach this drip tubing that has emitter holes every 12 inches. So I'm basically just gonna connect it to one side of that T and circle it around the container one time and then connect it back to itself. Now sometimes I will go through and go around the container twice, but with this container I think I can get by with just going around it once. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that set up, and then I'll tell you about the plants that I used. Alright, so now that I have the drip tubing in, I wanted to talk a little bit about the plants that I used. In the center of all the containers I used the same plant, and this one is called Queen Victoria Cardinal Flower. This one has a red bloom on it that I like, and I also like the dark foliage in contrast to the ornamental kale that I have underneath it. I think that looks really good. Now this one is a perennial, so it will come back each year, so I'll probably plant these out in the landscape once I'm done with them in this container. But they are hardy in zones 3 through 9. They can get up to 3 feet tall and about 18 inches wide. And they prefer to be in a sun to part sun area. So this area gets full sun, so it'll be perfect for this area. I also used ornamental kale and some pansies. I have the same pansies in all three. The kale is a little bit different, and I'll explain that in just a second. But the pansies that I used, I have this red one, and this one is called Delta Pure Red. And then I have a white one as well, and it's called Matrix White. And then the ornamental kale that I used, I have it in all 3 containers, but there's 3 different varieties. So this variety right here is called Songbird White. It's got a white middle. And then this one over here is called Songbird Pink. And it's got a pinkish, a light pink color in the middle. And then this one over here is called Nagoya Red. I don't know how the color is going to look on camera, but it's a dark purplish color. So instead of getting the same colors for all 3, I decided to change it up a little bit so that they all 3 didn't look exactly the same. And as you can see, I pruned some roses the other day. So I just decided to throw them in the fire pit so that they'll burn up whenever I build my next fire. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.